You're not failing at celebrating important moments just because a narcissist suddenly acts cold. It's frustrating when you're excited about something, only to have someone kill the vibe with their unexpected distance or indifference. But trust me, this behavior isn't about you. It's all about them. Today we'll dive into the 10 reasons why narcissists suddenly act cold during important moments. Are you ready for number 1? To ruin the moment. Narcissists thrive on being the emotional center of attention, and when it's your moment to shine, they'll act distant to sabotage the vibe. Psychologist Dr. Carol McBride, in her book, Will I Ever Be Free of You?, explains that narcissists are attention vampires. They can't stand not being the focus, so they'll do whatever it takes to shift the spotlight back to themselves. When your big moment arrives, they'll freeze you out, making everyone wonder, what's wrong with them? Suddenly the celebration is about them, not you, and they get the emotional payoff they crave. It's a twisted way to hijack the attention and make sure they stay at the center of everything. Let's talk about number 2. They're not getting credit. Narcissists demand credit for your success. They need to feel like they had a hand in it, or they'll make sure your achievement feels hollow to you. Dr. Ramani Durvasula, a clinical psychologist and expert on narcissism, says in her book, Should I Stay or Should I Go?, that narcissists are credit hoarders. They thrive on getting recognition, even for things they didn't do. So, if you didn't acknowledge their support enough, or mention how they helped you get there, don't be surprised when they suddenly pull away or act cold. They'll make you feel like your win isn't a win without their input. And in their eyes, if they're not getting credit, the achievement might as well not exist. Let's move on to number 3. They're emotionally stunted. Have you experienced dealing with a grown adult who throws a temper tantrum or shuts down during important moments? Narcissists often do that because they have the emotional maturity of a sulky teenager. Dr. Jean Twenge, in her book, The Narcissism Epidemic, explains that narcissists often struggle with emotional regulation and empathy, making it hard for them to connect in meaningful ways during key moments. So, when it's time to celebrate, show vulnerability, or express joy for someone else's success, they just can't handle it. They can't meet the emotional demands of the situation. So, they retreat into their own immaturity, leaving you to wonder what happened. Now let's continue to number 4. You're gaining social power. Narcissists seem to freeze you out when everyone starts noticing your success, because, to them, it's not just about your win, but how it affects their position in the social pecking order. According to Dr. W. Keith Campbell, a psychologist and author of The Narcissism Epidemic, narcissists see relationships like a competition, and if you start gaining more attention or power, they feel threatened. Their coldness is their way of protecting their ego from the idea that they might be losing ground. They panic because the shift in focus from them to you could mean their social rank drops, and in their world, that's a crisis. You shouldn't miss number 5. They want you to chase. According to Dr. Shannon Thomas, author of Healing from Hidden Abuse, narcissists are masters of emotional manipulation, and one of their favorite tactics is making you chase after them. They act cold during important moments to get you to seek their validation. It makes you second-guess yourself or feel like you've messed up. The more you chase, the more control they feel they have. They get a sense of power by making you bend over backward to win back their affection, all while you're left wondering if you did something wrong. Are you still up for number 6? They're feeling emotionally exposed. According to Dr. Mark Ettinson, a psychologist who studies narcissism, narcissists often have a fragile sense of self, and moments that require emotional openness feel like a threat to their carefully constructed image. To protect themselves from feeling exposed or weak, they withdraw and become cold. It's like they put on emotional armor, blocking any feelings that might reveal a deeper side to them. They'd rather keep their distance than risk being seen as anything less than perfect, especially when it involves emotions they're not ready to confront. Let's keep it moving to number 7. You didn't deserve this moment in their eyes. Dr. Robin Stern explains in his book, The Gaslight Effect, that narcissists often believe their internal version of reality is the ultimate truth. And if your achievement doesn't align with what they think you've earned, they'll ice you out. It's their twisted way of showing disapproval, not with words, but with silence and distance. To them, your moment feels like injustice, especially if it shines brighter than theirs. So instead of clapping for you, they withdraw, like it's a protest. It makes you question if you even deserve your joy, which you absolutely do. Narcissists just can't handle the spotlight not being on them. They'll try to make you feel small by diminishing your success, even if it's something they'd never admit they're jealous of. Their silence is less about you and more about their inability to share the stage. Don't let their coldness convince you that your victories aren't valid, because they absolutely are. Here comes number 8. They don't like when you're independent. In her book, Will I Ever Be Free of You?, Dr. Carol McBride explains that narcissists need to feel needed. It's how they control the narrative and keep their ego fed. So when you land that dream job, move to a new city, or simply start thinking for yourself, they don't see it as growth, but as abandonment. Their coldness isn't random. It's a guilt trip in disguise. It's like emotional blackmail. If you really cared about me, you wouldn't need to grow without me. But the truth is, your independence isn't a betrayal. It's a boundary. And narcissists just don't like when you stop needing their permission to shine. They'll try to make you feel selfish for seeking your own happiness because it challenges their need for control. In reality, their manipulation thrives on your dependence. So any sign of you standing on your own feels like a personal attack. But don't fall for it. Your growth is your right, not a rejection of them. Moving on to number 9. They want to confuse you. Dr. Ramani Durvasula explains in her book, Should I Stay or Should I Go?, that narcissists often use inconsistency as a control tactic. One moment they're warm and proud, the next they're emotionally detached, and your brain scrambles to fix it. That confusion isn't just uncomfortable, it's strategic. When you're stuck analyzing their mood, you're less likely to stand tall in your moment. Instead of soaking in your joy, you start tiptoeing around their silence. And just like that, they've hijacked your spotlight without saying a word. Their sudden coldness makes you question yourself, pulling your focus away from what should be your time to shine. It creates a power dynamic where their unpredictability becomes the center of attention. Before you know it, you're walking on eggshells, letting them control your every move. Finally, we're down to number 10. They're setting the stage for later manipulation. Narcissists hurt your feelings and then make it sound like they were doing you a favor. What feels like coldness in the moment is actually the opening act for some next-level manipulation. Later, they'll reframe their behavior as thoughtful, like Dr. George Simon points out in his book. In sheep's clothing, manipulators often hide their aggression behind reasonable explanations. So when they act distant during your big day and you finally call it out, they say things like, "You look so stressed, I figured I'd stay out of the way." It's sneaky because it sounds kind, but it leaves you questioning your own reaction. That's the trick. They keep the upper hand by rewriting the script and making you feel like the one who misread the scene. At the end of the day, a narcissist's coldness during important moments is more about their own insecurities than anything you've done wrong. It's their way of maintaining control or avoiding feeling vulnerable. Remember, you deserve to have your moments of joy and celebration. Don't let their emotional shutdowns steal that from you.